Hello there, and welcome to the behind the scenes of the Keep Up With Everything animated music video. Boom! Yes, this has been a project that I started back in early 2012. 2012! It basically consists of a track, and the meaning of the track is that I was getting annoyed by people saying, you haven't seen this show, you haven't read this book, so I wrote lyrics to a well-known composition, and I recorded that and figured maybe I should do like a music video for this, or like a video to put on YouTube. And then I thought, why not make it animated? Because that'll be a quick thing to do. So I started drawing. I pictured myself on a stage, and that I would have these like moments where I walked across. I would like do hand moves like this, basically, not like this that I ended up doing. And I had this stage crowd in front of me, which wasn't a lot of people at start. I started drawing like Michelle Akin, formerly Vargas, not the porn star, Grace Helbig, Tipsy Bartender, and then I started drawing Swedish YouTube friends. I had some celebrities in there, but after a while I realized that the perspective on the stage was incorrect, because the crowd was I was smaller than the crowd, and the crowd was behind me. So I had to push back the stage, or the audience section, which obviously meant I had to create many more chairs to fill. And I was like, oh, that's a lot of people, because it takes a while to draw each person. You have to find a good quality image. You put that into Photoshop, and then I drew like the contours of that, of the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the face, the hair, upper body. Copied that layer and then started filling like the color of the hair, the color of the skin, which was always problematic to get the right tone, and then whatever that person was wearing, and then place that person in the audience. And this went on. I don't think I did much in 2013. I drew a few characters in the beginning of 2013, and then I kind of picked it up again in 2014. And remember, the song was based on like popular culture things from 2012. So there's like Harry Potter in there, there's Twilight in there, there's Hunger Games in there. But obviously, since it's been over 6 years since I originally recorded that song, many other, types of popular culture aspects have come in. So I also added, Stranger Things. I added Handmaid's Tale and some other things like Spaceballs is in there. It's obviously an older reference. But there's a lot of references within this, mixing Stranger Things with Harry Potter. That was like a stroke of genius. Like, whoa, what if they were clothes from Hogwarts? That would be weird. There's also like Nightmare Before Christmas. There's Mr. Holland's Opus, one of my favorite films, is referenced in there. And there's also anime characters of films that me and my brothers watched growing up. Like Silverfang and Rai and Starsinger. But the segments of me on stage, basically I film myself doing the movements, I put that into the editing software, I then screenshot every other or every third frame, pulled those frames into Photoshop, and then drew and drew and drew. And some of them were easier, like the raising of the hand and the walking from behind and the feet walking by. But some of the segments where the camera sweeps they took a lot of time to do. I mean, first you draw the contours and then you add the colors to that, and still trying to maintain somewhat of a functional face. And then like 2 weeks before this video was finally released, I just had this like, okay, snap, let's do this. And I started drawing and drawing. I drew a lot of people. And at that time, maybe I had like 15 or 20 seats left. I figured who should be in this. And then you had this more dilemma, because obviously I know more people through YouTube and social media than what appears in the actual video. And then you have this like, oh, who do I include, who do I exclude? It's kind of like a wedding, who do you invite to the wedding and who do you don't invite into the wedding? And I feel now when it's done, I kind of feel bad, because there are certain people that I would have wanted to include just because they played a big part of my online social media life in a way. Whereas some people who I drew maybe very early on, I don't have much contact with anymore, but it's still a way to kind of stay true to the process of making this video. You can also see in the animations that some of the earlier ones are, no pun intended, but a bit sketchy compared to the slicker ones from later. That basically depended on I had a better mouse to work with in the later ones, and a better flow of how to produce this. Because initially I thought that this video would be done in like, I don't know, a month or two. Because obviously when I use the still images of like Harry and of Bella at the wedding, and those take up a lot of seconds and they're only like one frame. The same with my friend Helman, the photographer. There are 2 frames of him, but they take up a lot of time compared to an actual, you know, moving animation where you see my face, my eyes, my expression and all of that. It's a very different workflow. And also then I realized that aside from the audience section, I could also make use of the balconies. So I drew these balconies. You have the Game of Thrones sun, or whatever it's called, floating over there. But on the one side you have the anime characters, and the other one you have like more of a mixture. I mean, there's even an Office Space reference to Lumberg in there sitting with his cup. I thought that was funny. And then of course there are also some outtakes, some of the stuff that didn't get fit into the video. There's a frontal segment that I started drawing but I never finished, which was supposed to be part of the Somewhere for the Glitter Guy, Some for Dog Snoop, which was then replaced with the pictures of Bella and her 2 rivals, I guess, against each other. And as I pre-screened this video for my friend Amanda, who is obviously in the audience, she gave me like, I really like it, there's just one thing. The Sorcerer's Stone is ruby red. I'm like, whoops. I'm not sure why I picked the color blue that I initially did. Maybe because it didn't appear very red in the film. So in the last week I actually changed the color of the stone. And there's also a wizard segment that was never used, which is this one, where you have, of course, Tim Gunn. So yes, I'm very proud to finally be able to release the video. There are so many hand-drawn, on the computer, sure, but still drawn people in the audience. It's really massive, and I guess people will kind of stop and play to catch them all. And Pokemon reference, and even going back and see it again, because there's some very subtle references here and there that I added just for the fun of it, you know, put like little Easter eggs of people, and maybe even people and friends that did not expect to be part of a project like this, because I mean, I drew different people at different times when I felt like, all right, right now I feel like I want to draw this person, because right now that person is having a strong connection to me in my life, and I want to, I don't know, pay tribute to that by including that person in the audience. But then on the other hand, there are many people that are not included in the video, which is not out of you should not be part of it, just because there was never a, you know, specific time where I decided to draw you. And sorry, I feel bad. I feel bad. So that was a behind-the-scenes look at the creation of Keep Up With Everything, a music video that, yes, I started with on the day that I exported the audio file, which was March 30th, 2012. So it's over 2,400 days, 6.5 years from when I started it to when I finally completed it, even though I obviously didn't work like all the time on it. But I did work in the last 2 weeks a lot on it, even like taking out certain drawn people and moving them back, like old pictures that I kind of reused, like Ron Paul and Hillary that I used for other projects that I did before were included, but then they were moved back because I wanted to fit the first 4 rows with cool people. So I hope you liked the video, and I hope you appreciate all the work that I put down in making that video. And if you want to read more about the project, you can check out my blog. There will be some updates there about certain things and that. And of course, if you want to know more about some of the characters, you can follow my Instagram where I will post some of the some insights to when they were drawn and so what and so forth. Thank you very much for watching this little behind the scenes of Keep Up With Everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you.